Stephen Neal was a 4-time All-American, 2-time national champ, Pan American Games champ, world team member. His last 2 years undefeated and win 2 national championships and demolish most everybody. Stephen Neal, having played no college football, walks on. He doesn't just walk on and make the NFL. He walks on and makes with the New England Patriots, playing for a coach named Bill Belichick, and gets picked by Coach Belichick to protect Tom Brady. What really stood out in my mind was his freshman year at the national championship. So he came in, he redshirted the first year.
In my unique position of being a junior, a redshirt junior, he's a redshirt freshman. And the '96 season, when we're going into that tournament.
And he qualifies for the national championships.
I just remember watching him go through that tournament. I was going through the same things.
And he wins a few matches, and he gets into the match to wrestle to become an All-American, and the guy forfeits. So Stephen Neal becomes an All-American by forfeit. So then after the forfeit, he wrestles the next round to the guy that had won, and he beats that guy. So now he's in the top 6. He earned his right to be an All-American by winning that match. Now he's in the consolation semifinals against a guy named Tolly Thompson. Tolly Thompson from Nebraska was the defending national champion. And Stephen gave him all that he can handle, and he just barely loses.
When that tournament was over, he placed 4th in the nation. And I placed 4th in the nation. But the difference was, I was a redshirt junior.
But he came that close to beating the defending national champion to take 3rd in the country as a freshman.
It just blew my mind that a redshirt freshman could do that.
But that national championship told me, okay, this kid as a freshman took 4th in the country. It's all about business now and being a 3-time national champ from here on out.
I was a little bit like, who is this guy? You would see Coach Pope, what he did to the wrestlers. He would push you to the limit.
But one of the things I would do, I had the move, it was called a cobra, and it basically just snap your head down, throw you on your back, and it was a position where you could choke a guy out. But I remember the first time that I snapped Stephen down, threw him on his back in a cobra and choked him out. And then finally he taps, and I let him up. And as soon as I let him up, he was foaming at the mouth, his eyes were glassy, he just had this evil look in his eye, and he just launched right back at me and just started banging away again. So he didn't have the level of technique and skill at that time, but you saw the fight in this kid, and that's when I said, okay, this kid's got it, this kid's gonna be great someday. By his sophomore year, we were going toe-to-toe, and then by his junior and senior year, he could put a whooping on me.
He was taking Coach Pope down, and it was hard to believe at first. You're like, that's a fluke. It would happen more often. To be able to do that to Coach Pope, in my eyes, like he was a wrestling master.
When the team won the Pac-10 championships in 1996, and then we went to the Division I national championships, and we took 3rd in the country behind Iowa State, Cal State Bakersfield. We took 3rd in the country. We had these real big, beautiful rings printed up. So every guy on the team bought one of these rings, and all the coaches bought one of these rings. My ring was stolen. 2 weeks ago, we went to the California chapter of the National Wrestling Hall of Fame to watch Rich Bailey get inducted. And Steve and I drove down there from Bakersfield to Fresno. He said, hey, where's your ring? I said, well, mine, got stolen years ago. Well, when we got back from the event, we got home just before we turned in for the night. Steve takes that ring off his finger and he says, Coach, here, I want you to have this. And it about brought tears to my eyes, because it just the generosity and the appreciation and the humbleness of this guy.
I mean, Steve's a freak athlete. He was really good at his sport. I feel like the legacy he leaves is his character.
And Steve would say the reason he came to Cal State Bakersfield is because of all of his recruiting trips. Cal State Bakersfield was the only program that he went and visited that they were working out that day. And he watched the intensity, and he watched the level of fight going on in that room, and he knew right away, this is what I want. He didn't want the rafting in University of Oregon. He didn't want the partying and the girls and the alcohol at Cal Poly. He wanted the work that was going on in the room from 4 to 6 at Cal State Bakersfield, and he wanted to be a part of that, and that's what sold him, and that's what got him here. But one day, Stephen Neal was in here working out, and it scraped his finger and it started bleeding, and he's just walking by this wall, and he just reaches up with his hand, and on the blood on his finger, and he etches in hard
so this is Stephen Neal's blood.
That's Stephen Neal's blood, that's Stephen Neal's handwriting, and you can tell because he's such a legend in this sport and in this room and in this school, they painted the walls since. You can see the paint, but they taped that off because nobody wanted to touch this handwriting, hard work from Stephen Neal. What wrestling taught him as an individual of how to work hard, how to believe in yourself, how to set goals, how to achieve goals, how to overcome adversity. What he received here in this wrestling room at Cal State Bakersfield, and what he received in this community, and what he received in this school is what set him up for success